Please give me the rights to share the screen.
Yes, Prabhu. Just
Um, Sorry, I was not able to hear what you were telling. And I realized somebody from WhatsApp is going to leave a message, and I just looked at it and I found that. Okay, so I'm sharing my screen. Just a moment. Um, this one. Yeah. So, Machakalpatarvise Kripasindhu Bhayacha Patidanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. So last week we were looking at the text one and some part of text two. Now I like to go forward on the text 1.1. Let us go back to the Bhagavad Gita notes, which is here. So so we saw that Kurukshetra is a place of pilgrimage, and there's going to be a warfare, and Dhritarashtra's mind was completely perturbed. Uh, he was perturbed in the sense in four ways. First of all, he was desirous of a kingdom, if not for him, at least for his sons. So he was desirous of that. Second, he was doubting the influence of the pious place, Dharma Kshetre. So he was doubting the victory of his sons. Though he wanted the um, the kingdom, but he was doubting the victory of his sons. Third one, he was fearful that probably his sons, instead of fighting, because it's a pious place, they may give away the right to the kingdom and leave, renounce. And fourth one, he was also thinking it could be Pandavas who could do the renouncing act and leave the place, so that they get the kingdom. The Kauravas get the kingdom. In this entire episode, we should think like Dhritarashtra was a king. Actually, he was a king, and a king always takes care of his people. He should be non-envious. So any person who is authority should be non-envious. Father should be non-envious of his children. Guru should be non-envious of his disciples. Husband should be non-envious of his wife. So, like that, king should be non-envious of his citizens. Here we see that Dhritarashtra is envious of Pandavas. Actually, he was envious of Pandavas, and right now, before the beginning of war, Akrura actually visits Dhritarashtra and understand what is in his mind. So, and Akrura also comes to deliver the message of Krishna, that Krishna wants to protect Pandavas and wants Dhritarashtra to give their rightful kingdom. But Dhritarashtra says, no, I cannot give. I know Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. I need to fulfill his desires, but I can't do this. So we people also have similar tendency. We know that whatever we are doing is sinful, but instead of giving up that sinful activity or sinful intention, we and surrender to Krishna, we try to fulfill the sinful desires or carry out, go ahead with our sinful tendencies. So this is something which we should take care, and that is why we are studying this Bhagavad Gita, so that our sinful tendency is slowly decreased. So one thing that we need to do is we need to take the shelter of spiritual master, start following the regulative principles, chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. That is what we see also in Srimad Bhagavatam. that Dhritarashtra gets chastised for his evil tendencies by Vidura. Vidura is his spiritual master, and then renounces everything and goes to forest. So we see, and there he practices uh, whatever Vidura teaches him, and then he leaves his body. So we need to get into shelter of spiritual master, and then only we'll be able to deliver ourselves from problems. So next point that we need to see here is that in this field of Kurukshetra is a Dharma Kshetra, and Krishna is the father of religion. So he is using everyone as an instrument to install Yudhishthira as the king and establish Dharma in this India or Bharatvarsha. He wants to bring rule of Dharma. So that is why this Dharma Kshetre and Kurukshetre are used. So this is with respect to the first shloka. I'm just going to the second shloka. In second shloka, we could see that Sanjaya is Dristvatu Pandavanikam Vyudam Duryodhanastata Acharam Upasamgamya Raja Vachanam Abravit. Here, there is one uh, interesting thing that Duryodhana is seeing the opposing party, and he gets perturbed by seeing the opposite army, and he, so he gets perturbed by looking at the army arrangement. So he approaches his military master, and here we see a word Raja is used. So I request people to put their uh, mic in mute so that there is no disturbance to the participants. Okay, so here we see that here very specifically Duryodhana is identified as king, and one of the reasons why he is identified as king is that he is going to do proper following up of Rajniti. Raja means one who follows Rajniti. So we will see different instances in which he does this Rajniti. So after seeing the army, he approaches and um, meets his spiritual master Drona, and now he is going to appraise the situation. So one thing we need to understand that Sanjaya has already understood the mind of Dhritarashtra, that he wants his sons to win the battle, or he wants Pandavas to give up the right to the kingdom and leave the battlefield. But here, in next few verses, Sanjaya is going to clarify that that is not what is going to happen. So, so that is the major takeaway from this shloka. I'll go to the next shloka. Pashyetan Pandu Putranam Acharyan Mahitum Cham Vyudam Drupada Putrena Tava Shishyena Dhimata. So here we see that Duryodhana is using his politicking or Rajniti by, instead of calling Drishtadyumna, he is calling him as Drupada Putrena, that is, son of a person who is enemy to you. He is now trying to fire the anger of Dronacharya. And he is saying that He is your Shishya and he is intelligent. So this intelligent disciple of yours has organized this army. But now I don't want you to show this leniency. I want you to have complete control over the army and deliver your full commitment. That is what he is asking is Dronacharya. We have talked about Drishtadyumna and Dronacharya and Drupada in our previous class, so I'm not dwelling much in this particular shloka. I'm just going to the next shloka. If you have any questions, we can during our question hours we can talk about it. Then in text number 1.4, Atra Sura Maheshwasha, Bhimarjuna Samayudi, Yuyudhana Viratascha, Drupadascha Maharataha. Here, once again, we can see that he is calling the name of Drupada. So this is once again is interesting way of bringing anger in Dronacharya so that he fights with full anger. And here, one more thing that we need to understand is his comparison is Bhima and Arjuna. Bhima and Arjuna have been are good references for good references because Arjuna had confrontation. Arjuna and Bhima had confrontation in multiple places. Arjuna had confrontation during Virat, during Panchali Swayamvar, and during fighting with Drupada. And during fighting with Drupada, Kauravas went first. They got defeated badly by Drupada, and then the Pandavas went and then won. And in another case, when Pandavas were in Vanavas, during that time to flaunt his wealth, Duryodhana goes to the place very close to the place where Pandavas were residing, and he was not aware that that place was the habitat of Gandharvas. So Duryodhana gets arrested by Gandharvas. So once again, Arjuna and Bhima go and rescue the Duryodhana and his party, Kauravas. So he is able to understand the strength of Bhima and Arjuna. One more thing that we need to understand here is Duryodhana is afraid, especially of Bhima's anger temperament. He is very, he has taken three vows actually. One is that he would kill all the 100 sons of the Drashtra. Second, he has taken a vow to break the thigh of Duryodhana. Third one is that he would open the chest of Dushasana and he would take the heart and drink his blood. And he will take the blood for washing the hair of Draupadi because Dushasana tried to pull her hair. So these three vows were still resonating in mind of Duryodhana. That is why he is trying to bring them, and then they are the very good estimation of strength of Pandavas. So that is why he is bringing them. And in Mahabharata Tatparya Nirnaya of Madhvacharya, Madhvacharya is actually incarnation of Vayu, and we know Hanuman and Bhima were sons of Vayu, or they are incarnations of Vayu. So Madhvacharya actually goes inside Mahabharata and he explains what is happening. So he says that Bhima takes the vow to kill even Karna through Arjuna. So there is a very interesting thing about this. Yeah. So I'm just going to the next slide, next shloka. Dristaketasta Ketina, Kasirajascha Virivan, Purjiti Kunti Bojascha, Saibhyascha Narapungava. These are all very, they are all formidable people um, here. So here we see that there is a list of warriors. So Duryodhana is a very intelligent person. He is able to understand what is happening in the uh, in the opposition party also, and then he approaches the right person to appraise the situation and motivate the team to take it forward. This is also a very good tactic of a politician. So he's acting as a very good politician. Yeah. So I'm go to the next sloka. Yudhamanyascha Vikranta Uttamaujaschya Viryavan Saubhadra Draupadeyascha Sarvaheva Maharataha. So yeah, these are all once again some strong warriors. Actually, when he is listing down, though he is making an estimate, he is also afraid of what is happening in front. Actually, Duryodhana ripped Pandavas of all the wealth. They were penniless. So then it is through the help of Krishna that they forge alliances with different kings and then gather money and army, and they put this good array of military arrangement. It has taken them a long effort or long duration and long effort. Actually, during Vanvasa, Bhima actually has a lot of dialogue with Yudhishthira. Now only we should go and fight. No, the Yudhishthira actually tells to Bhima, no, it is not. We should not be so hasty. We must plan our attack. So that way, there is one specific parva called Udyoga Parva, where they do this in Mahabharat, where they do this gathering of alliances and setting up of military, and that is how they are putting a very good show here, which makes Duryodhana afraid of the military arrangement. Yeah. So I go to the next slide. So here we see that अस्माकं तु विशिष्टाय तान् निबोध द्विजोत्तमा नायक मम सैन्यस्य सामान्यार्थं tan bravimite. He is once again addressing this to uh, Dronacharya. So it is once again a estimation of what he is going to tell about his army. He is not going to tell, yeah, this is there, but we are also formidable, like that. He wants to put a picture. This is to cover up his fear. भवान् भीष्मश्च कर्णश्च कृपाश्च समितिञ्जय अश्वत्थामविकर्णश्च सौमदत्तिस्तथैव च. So we can see here Bhavan, Bhishma and Drona are disciples of Parashuram. So they are equal. In age, Bhishma may be elder to Drona, but still Duryodhana uses his intelligence and puts Dronacharya as the first. So because Drona is Brahmana, so Bhishma is Kshatriya by his Varna. So he says Bhishma will not mind putting a Brahmana in front of him. But on the other hand, there is a possibility that Drona can feel bad if Bhishma is put in the front. So he uses his words very well here. Bhishma, Karna, Kripa. You can see that Karna is not in the mind of, is not in the battlefield, but still he is in mind of Duryodhana because he is not doubtful about Karna's royalty to him. Whereas with respect to Bhishma and Drona, he always has a doubt. Then he also brings the name of Vikarna. Vikarna is not so powerful, but he brings him because he wants his loyalty here. Because in the assembly Asat Sabha, where Draupadi was humiliated, there Draupadi has a question: is it okay for a person who has got defeated in the dice in the die game to put anybody else? Then Vikarna comes up and says, actually, Bhishma is not able to answer, Drona is not able to answer, but Vikarna gets up and says, this entire thing of gambling match is not okay, because any decision which is taken when a man is in hunting mood, when he is hunting an animal, or when he is womanizing, or when he is intoxicating, or when he is involved in gambling, any decision that he takes is not well thought. It is deviated, or it has something which is something other motivational things which drives the decision rather than the actual thing which should be considered for taking the decision. So, whatever decision Yudhishthira has taken, that is to put his brothers, put his wife as a bet in the betting match, it's all wrong decision. He comes up and tells this. That is why Duryodhana is specifically bringing his name here to ensure that he is loyal to him in this battle. So yeah, so that is one important thing that we need to understand here. Next sloka, अन्ये च बहावसूर मदर्ते त्वक्त जीविता नाना शस्त्र प्रहारना सर्वे युद्ध विशारदा. This Tvakta Jivina has two connotations. One is prepared to risk their life, but the other way is they have already given up their life. So even before the battle is started, um, the news is announced that they are already going to give up their life. Who are they? Jayadrath. Actually, Jayadrath, yeah. So Jayadrath is somebody who has got boon from Shiva that um, he can stop the five Pandavas for one time. So, and we can see that in the chapter 11, Jayadratha of Bhagavad Gita, Jayadratha's name comes, and the universal form tells that Jayadratha is going to get killed. Kritavarman is the Yadava prince who comes with the Yadava army to support Duryodhana. He is the one person who leaves the battlefield uh, without dying in the battlefield. Kritavarman. Shalya is brother of Madri, who is father-in-law of all the Pandavas. So he is tricked by Duryodhana. Salya has to travel a long distance from south of India to the north of India. So in between, he comes across an army which treats him very well, and he falls prey to the treatment and says, "Whoever has made this arrangement, I will support them in all ways." So Duryodhana comes there and says, "Now you support Kauravas in this battle." So Shalya is now tricked to support Kauravas. Duryodhana actually wanted a strong charioteer for Karna. So that is why he is picking Shalya so that is why he tricks Shalya to join his army. So all of them are going to die. Jayadratha will die, Shalya will die. Kritavarman, since he is Yadava, he is not dying in the battle. And this loka is something which is very interesting to understand. So here aparyatam tu tad asmakam balam bhishma birakshitam paryatam tu idam etesham balam bhima abhirakshitam. Aparyapta. There are two connotations of this. One is immeasurable or insufficient. Paryatam has two connotations, enough and not sufficient, once again, or we are running short. So, aparyaptam, so there are two ways of looking at it. When um, Duryodhana is addressing this, Bhishma is there, Drona is also there. So when Bhishma is listening to it, he listens that under Bhishma, ours is an immeasurable army, whereas under Bhima, we do not have Bhima army is not sufficient to conquer us. On the other hand, when Drona hears it, he hears that our army under the protection of Bhishma is insufficient, therefore, he has to participate wholeheartedly in the war. And then he also says that there is enough force. If we are not protecting Bhishma, then Bhima can be formidable. The army which Bhima is going to protect, it is going to be formidable. So these are two different ways in which Duryodhana has used this same sentences. So and if you see the translation of this by Prabhupada, he calls this as immeasurable. Whatever is heard by Bhishma, that is what he puts here. Whereas Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakura puts the other way of it. It is insufficient and this is fully sufficient. So the explanation here is that Bhishma and Drona are not having any motivation to fight in this war. Whereas Bhima has a very high level of motivation. If he does not win the war, then they do not have a life after this. And whatever vow he has taken, it's going to be a failure. The entire Pandavas are going to be failure. Draupadi will remain no, humiliated. So it is the stakes are very high for Pandavas. Therefore, that will make them very formidable, and hence Kauravas will find it very difficult to win Pandavas. So that is the connotation given by the Acharyas when they say the other way of looking at it. Um, I will then go to the next. So till now we see that Duryodhana has done a very good politicking. That is why he's Raja, called as Raja. Though Dhritarashtra is Raja, king, but he is also tricked. That is why Sanjay is calling Duryodhana, for whom this entire war is fought, as Raja. And he is doing a very good Rajaniti by jugglery of words, by motivating his team, by estimating the opposition team, and he knows whom to motivate in the right way. He treats Vikarna in one way, he treats Bhishma in one way, he treats Drona in one way. So he is a very strong politician. Then, so he is Duryodhana as now is now addressing the rest of the army. He's saying that all other greatest heroes within my army should protect Bhishma. Then only we will be successful. So he is now forging a teamwork here because Bhishma will be fighting in one part of the army. So he needs to be protected. There should not be somebody else who is attacking him from different other places. So he needs to be protected in all directions. So yeah, so this is typical of Duryodhana and his politicking. So here till now, no other action has happened. So now we see that uh, uh, Dhritarashtra has asked question, and now he is telling what is happening in the mind of Duryodhana. So Duryodhana is not going to give up the fight. So which is clarifying the doubt of Dhritarashtra at the beginning of the first shloka where he has a doubt. So Sanjaya is now clearing it. No, they are not going to give up the fight. Now next comes Tasya Sanjanayan Arshan Kuruveda Pratamaha Simmanadam Vinodyache Shankam Dadmu Pratapavan. Then Bhishma, the great valiant grandsire of Kuru dynasty, the great father of the grandfather of the fighters, blew his conch shell very loudly, making a sound like a roar of lion, giving Duryodhana joy. So actually, there are two understandings here. When we blow Shanka is a representation of Lord Vishnu, or it is Lord Vishnu. It is purifier, and the original Vishnu is on the opposite side, Lord Krishna. So by blowing the Shanka, Bhishma is telling to Duryodhana, there is no chance for you to win this war because the husband of goddess of fortune is on the opposite side. So there is no way you can win. But still, I will give my full commitment and I will fight with full spirit. So that is what he is telling him, and that spirit is that showing of that spirit is to bring um, cheerfulness in Duryodhana. So so now everything stops, politicking stops. Enough of politicking. Now let's start fighting. I am committed to you, but there is no chance of victory. So going back to the doubt which Dhritarashtra has. So this is the first sign of victory of Pandavas. We will discuss about other signs of victory of Pandavas as we go forward, but this is the first sign of victory. Um, I'll go to the next one. Tata Shankascha Preyascha Panavanaka Gomka Sahasai Abhya Anayanta Sasabdas Tumulo Bhavat. So all other instruments started blowing when Pitamaha Bhishma started blowing this gongs. Yeah, so with this, we have the part, come to the end of the first part of um, observing armies, preparations of the war. We have completed till this. So there is a doubt in the Dhritarashtra's mind, and then uh, it is answered by Sanjaya. So till here we have started the first sign of victory we saw. We will see the next signs of victory in our subsequent slides, in subsequent classes. Now I just want to touch upon what we discussed in our previous class. There was one question. So the sloka is there in Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela 17.186, which says, तर्को प्रतिष्ठश्रुतयो विभिन्नं नास्वऋषयोर्यस्य मतं न भिन्नं धर्मस्य तत्त्वं निहितं गुहाय महाजनो येन गतो सुपन्थ. So dry arguments are inconclusive. A great personality whose opinion does not differ from other is not considered a great sage. Simply by studying the Vedas, which are variegated, one cannot come to the right path by which religious principles are understood. The solid truth of religious principle is hidden in the heart of an unadulterated, self-realized person. Consequently, as Shastras confirm, one should accept whatever progressive path the Mahajanas advocate. Now I'm reading one more two slokas from Srimad Bhagavatam. Swayambhu Narada Shambhu Kumaro Kapilo Manu Prahlado Janako Vishnu Balir Vayasakir Vayam Dwadashaita Vija Nimo Dharma Bhagavatam Bataha Guhyam Vishuddham Durbodham Yanavartam Ma Shute. So, Lord Brahma, Bhagavan, Narada, Lord Shiva, the four Kumaras, Lord Kapila, the son of Devati, Swayambhu Amanu, Prahlad Maharaj, Janaka, grandfather Bhishma, Bali Maharaj, Shukadev Goswami, and I myself know the real religious principle. My dear servants, this transcendental religious principle, which is known as Bhagavata Dharma of surrender unto Supreme Lord and love for Him, is uncontaminated by the material modes of nature. It is very confidential and difficult for ordinary human beings to understand. But if by chance one fortunately understands it, he is immediately liberated and thus he returns home back to God. So, this was specifically on why we should read Prabhupada's books. He is a Mahajanam for us. Then there was one question on uh, this one. We need to make a proper counting. Whatever we do, we need to have a proper counting and it should be scheduled properly. So Shankya Purvaka. I offer Shankya Purvaka Namagana Nativi कलावसानि कृतौ निद्रा आहार विहार कटि विजितौ चात्यंत दीनौ चयौ राधा कृष्ण गुण स्मृतेर मधुरिमा नंदेन सम्मोहितौ वंदे रूप सनातनौ रवि युगो श्री जीव gopalako. I offer my respectful obeisances unto six Goswamis, namely Rupa Sanatana, Bhatta Raghunath, Dasa Raghunath, Jiva, Gopal Bhatta. So what are they doing? They utilize a valuable life in chanting the holy names of Lord and going down in scheduled measurement. So scheduled means time, and in measurement means duration. So they were during it, and they were concord over eating and sleeping. So our following of 16 rounds, four regulative principles, we need to do it in a scheduled way. Art and Mangalarti, be timeliness, ensure cleanliness. Then when we follow that in a scheduled way, then we are successful in our sadhana. I go to one more thing. These are some important shlokas which connects us directly with faith and knowledge about Krishna and Kevala Bhakti. So one is Chatushloki Bhagavatam, Chatushloki Bhagavad Gita. Last time when we saw it was from chapter 9, 9.1 to 9.3. But there are many shlokas. I was just trying to take few of them. One was from Bhagavad Gita. The other one is from Divinity and Divine Service. Then other one is from Chaitanya Charitamrita. So example for this is when we are going for a book distribution, somebody is interested, looks at a devotee, looks at his Vaishnava dress and is tilak and says, okay, I should donate a small amount of money and take a book. So then, Adav Shraddha. Let me just go to the other one, which is much more easier to understand. Adav Shraddha. There is a faith. Okay, he's a good person. Then he takes sadhu sangha. He reads the book Ado Shraddha Tata Sadhu Sangha. And in that, he says we have to get up early in the morning, come to chant Hare Krishna, and then be with devotees. So that is Bhajana Kriya. He performs devotional service to Krishna. Then Anartha Nivriti. Anartha Nivriti means whatever is meaningless in life, we give up that. That is meat eating, illicit sex, gambling, intoxication. Then we get steadiness, nishta, ruchi, stata, asakti, stato, bhavas. So these are all little bit on the higher platform. But for us to understand that a simple book distribution, how it can be related here. Same thing we can relate here also. I'm just going to the this shloka. I am source of all spiritual and materials. Everything emanates from the wise who perfectly know this, engage in my devotional service and worship me. So when somebody buys Prabhupada's books, they will know that Krishna is source of everything and they engage in his devotional service. Then their thoughts are dwelling in him. Their lives are fully devoted to my service and they derive great satisfaction, bliss. And they talk about this. And when they do that constantly, Krishna gives the understanding. So whether we are intelligent or not, it is not important. When we get to understand Prabhupada's books, automatically the understanding comes. To show them special mercy, I dwelling in their hearts, destroy with shining lamp of knowledge the dense darkness born of ignorance. So once again, how book distribution helps to cover up the destroys the ignorance. Then yeah, so there is. Yeah, actually, this one was very good. Just a moment. I think I need to pick that. It's a very good shloka. It is very important for us to know. 16. So you can see, O twice one, so by serving those devotees who are completely free from all vice, great service is done. By such service, one gains affinity for hearing the messages of Vasudeva. Just by giving a small donation and buying a book, we do a service. And then we gain affinity to hearing the message. We start listening to read Prabhupada's books. Then Sri Krishna, personality who is Paramatma in everyone's heart and the benefactor of truth, will cleanses the desire for material enjoyment from the heart of the devotees who has developed an urge to hear his messages, which are in themselves virtuous when properly heard and chanted. So when somebody starts reading Prabhupada's book, he understands Krishna and that cleanses this heart. And then this is a very interesting shloka. This one is Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nitya Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. So then we start hearing Bhagavatam. Bhagavatam means surrendering process to Krishna. That is what we learned in the other shloka. So it's nice that then it's almost that is troublesome to art is completely destroyed and loving service unto personality of Godhead who is praised with transcendental songs is established as an irrevocable fact. Then next sloka. Tada rajas tamo bhava kama lobhadai se chete reiter anavidyan stitam sattve prasidati. As soon as irrevocable loving service is established in art, the effects of nature's mode of passion and ignorance, such as lust, desire, anchoring, disappear from the heart. Then the devotee is established in his goodness, he becomes completely happy. This is anartha nivriti. Then we have Evam Prasanna Manaso Bhagavad Bhakti Yogata Bhagavad Tattva Vijnana Mukta Sangasya Jayate. Thus established in mode of unaligned goodness, the man whose mind is has been enlivened by the contact with devotional service to the Lord gains positive scientific knowledge of personality Godhead in the stage of liberation from material association. So you will find umpteen slokas which describe this flow. Faith in Krishna, knowledge about Krishna, and then Kevala Bhakti. Yeah. Okay, so now we are open for questions.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Well, if I may go ahead, there's something in connection to this week's homework that I wanted to ask. Always something new stands out from the introduction, and well, given the fact that this Krishna consciousness movement is a preaching movement, we should be preaching to one another. Yare Dekatarika Krishna Upadesh. Srila Prabhupada makes this point. I'm quoting directly. One cannot say anything about the transcendental world without being free from material dominated consciousness. So, what is the sober way to understand this? Because, well, the fact is that, well, at least on my own part, it is very clear that there is so much of this material contamination, materially contaminated consciousness. And then one cannot say anything about to the transcendental world or these things without being free from that. So it seems something like there's the expression catch 22. That so how to deal with this very point?
Yeah, Prabhu, I think it is very much easier. One is we must have a sadhana. Um, the entire thing is to control the mind, and mind goes in different direction. One of the ways to control mind is to put a schedule. Shankyapurvaka nama gana natibi kala vasani krito. So that is how they conquered. Who conquered? Shad Goswami. They conquered the sleep and eating just by doing scheduled activities. So we need to do schedule. So what are those activities? Actually, no, Prabhupada gives bhakti as a devotional service. We need to engage ourselves. So he's not telling 24 hours chanting. No, he says go out for book distribution, read books, memorize shlokas, get up early in the morning to chant, to attend Mangalarti, take early bath in cold water. By doing this, we engage our mind, we keep our mind in contact with Krishna conscious elements. And by doing that, all our anartha nivritti goes off. So this one actually, whatever I'm telling is there in the introduction to Bhagavad Gita also. Prabhupada tells it is the mind which needs to be controlled, and that is possible by properly engaging ourselves in Krishna conscious activity. So chanting is one good thing, and then reading Prabhupada's book is one good thing. Eating prasad is one good thing. Associating with devotees is all good. So it is activity. We have to engage in activity to keep ourselves engaged. Prabhu, I actually like to focus our questions on what we discussed today from Bhagavad Gita. That would be much more important because that is the focus of our study gathering here.
Sure, Prabhuji, I appreciate that. Yeah, but what you told is very very nice and practical, very useful, and I will stick to this principle that you're here dealing at it. Just one thing for the sake of clarity, just to referring to your reply here. So it would be practical that we make a hour by hour or even minute to minute schedule on our daily activities and then follow that and then
I think
controlling the mind
we
like
must have. I think minute by minute may not be. It is very impractical, but on the other hand, we can say I will get up at 3:50 every day and be ready for Mangalarti by 4:30.
very nice.
And before that, if I have the task of cleaning the temple hall, then I will do that. Then tomorrow's class, I will take Sarva Dharman Parityaja Mamekam Sharanam Praja Aham Tvam Sarva Papebhyo Mokshyasyani Masucha. So when I am taking this shloka, I will do a proper pronunciation and memorize this shloka, memorize the meaning of this. So this could be engaging because it requires you to really understand and prepare for the class. So this is engaging. So you are once again scheduling yourself for study. Then you say, I will cook today for devotees who are going to attend the class. I'm going to prepare some nice rasgulla or halwa for them to relish. So that could be a good and good engagement. So you need to read the recipe, ensure that you don't put salt, but and put salt only sugar in the recipe so that it is sweet. So like that, it is engaging yourself. and if necessary you need to go to shop, buy them, and clean them. So it is really engaging once again. And if you have to, if there is a new youth who is going to come to your class, then there may be specific questions he may be asking you, so you may probably have to prepare for that. So these are all some important engagements which you keep track: one, two, three, four, five. So then you say, after having prasadam, I'll prepare for the class. I will spend 1 hour for memorizing the sloka. I will spend 15 minutes for understanding the meaning. And then I will listen to Prabhupada's lecture and understand what he has given on this particular sloka, what he has given in his purport, what is most emphasis. Are there any shlokas in this shloka which Prabhupada is mentioning? So like that, you can always keep yourself busy, and you will probably say, okay, I'm going to address this five questions, five points in this class. If I happen to take another class in future, then I will take the next 5 points. Like that, you can always there is a schedule and a measurement, Prabhu. Okay, but now I think we should focus on our today's class. Any questions on that, please? If there are no questions on today's class, then we can discuss some other questions.
Prabhuji, I feel it would be worthwhile if you could still clarify a little bit what was the connection with the Chaturshloki as to what we were just studying today.
Chatushloki actually has no relation to today's class. It was related to one of the questions asked by one Mataji. She was telling how faith in Krishna comes by hearing. And so we must hear and chant properly, and then it brings. So as in last class, we discussed about shloka 9.1, 9.2, 9.3, where the faith is comes, and then the knowledge about Krishna comes, and then how it manifests as a Kevala Bhakti. That is what we discussed. But then I happened to just read through some of the important shlokas. I found that there are so many shlokas which indicate the same flow. This Chatushloki Bhagavad Gita is from Ramanujacharya. He considers these four slokas as the summary of the entire Bhagavad Gita. So it also tells faith, then it talks about knowledge, and that knowledge is a material knowledge, and then Krishna gives the intelligence by which material knowledge of Krishna, and that knowledge helps us to overcome the ignorance, and that is also by mercy of Krishna. So it is very interesting. So this point is coming in many places within Prabhupada's books or in Vaishnava literatures. That is the point. Okay, so then any questions on introduction to Bhagavad Gita? Okay, then if there are no questions, then we can stop here. So next week we will have the next few slokas, majorly focusing on um, signs of victory. So in signs of victory, I see there is one shloka which is related with Krishna. So I think I should try to this one. Maybe we should take this inspiration from Vishnu Sahasranam and see how we can discuss here. Okay, I think thank you very much for your participation and your attendance. There's something in the chat. Okay. Okay, if there is nothing, then thank you very much. Vancha kalpatarubhasya kripa sindhu bhayevcha patitanam pavaneno vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Srila
Hare Krishna,
Prabhupada ki
Prabhuji.
jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much for your precious time, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Dhanavad.
Dhanyavad.